Welcome back to Where Pilgrims Walk. George says, after the West Brom game, Morgs needs to be dropped for a couple of games. He's giving us nothing, and every team is fully prepared for his only option, which is his left foot. He needs a big wake-up call, as looking lazy and certainly lost his ability to hit the target. Controversial or correct? Well, we've got Pilgrim Carl here to give us his view, and we're really interested in your views as well. Welcome to the shortest, most compact review of all things Plymouth Argyle across the internet. This is Where Pilgrims Walk. Yes, welcome back, Carl, and thank you very much for watching. As we mentioned, this is a 20-minute weekly podcast which reviews the weekend games and talks all about what's coming up for the following week. And let's start off, Carl, because even though that was a narrow defeat, the signs are that Plymouth are improving. Is that right?
Yes, very much so. I spoke to a couple of West Brom fans myself, and they said that we are the toughest team they've faced, and that's a big compliment. That does mean an awful lot to hear that, and it just shows everything's pointing in the right direction, which is positive.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good coach as well, isn't it? That on the pitch, that obviously things are going on in training, each player's individually understanding their role better. So, you can take these defeats, can't you, if you see a performance?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, looking at all the statistics and that, it's all pointing in the right direction. The effort, running, just simple things, the basics really, and he's certainly drilling into them the way he wants to play.
Okay.
And to hold the league leaders and one of the favourites for promotion just to a 1-0, I think I don't have any complaints at all. I cannot find any complaints above the performance. But again, which we'll discuss later in the show, Morgan Whittaker, I think it's time for a wake up call for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our focus today. Also coming up on the show, we're going to do the full match review from West Brom. We're going to ask Carl to grade right backs because we conclude our review of the defences. We're talking about the Sacktober and who do we think is going to be getting the sack next. And we're putting Carl under the spotlight and asking him about his history of supporting Plymouth Argyle, getting to know you a little bit more. So let's jump into some comments then, which they're generally quite positive, but as you know, we always review social media, and the one thing coming up time and time again, Carl, was Kenny says here, as much as Morgan Whittaker can produce a moment of magic, most games he now seems like a passenger. Is it time to bring him more central? Morgan Whittaker has a god complex, he thinks he's better than he is, and Callum also concludes with drop Morgan Whittaker and bring Jaden in at this point as well to get his view on it. But Carl, what's going on with Morgan Whittaker?
Well, ever since Laszlo came calling in January, I think his head's just been completely turned myself. Apart from that strike against QPR, I've not really seen anything from him. There's no determination, no willingness to take defenders on, just lack of enthusiasm, if you like. I just think since that bid's come in, he's head's just gone completely wobbled.
Do you think defenders have got him worked out now, though? Good defenders know that, he's got a sweet left foot, but that's about it.
Yeah, but that's when you bring out the best player in yourself. You find ways of getting through. I mean, look, all the top players that have gone up from the Championship to the Premier League, they've always found a way to get past these defenders and curl one in. But end of the day, if he don't find his level, he'll soon find himself back to where he was, like in Derby, on the bench constantly. And this is what happened. He went to the bench with Derby, Swansea. I mean, he didn't make it with Lincoln, but I mean, he's our most what's the word? Most expensive transfer, so we can't exactly go, oh, we're just going to bench you all the time. He just needs to find himself more than anything.
Okay. Jaden, what's your view on this? Controversial as it is, because I know we spoke lots last year, and without him, Plymouth would certainly be in League One right now. So I think he's got a lot of credit in the bank, but what have you made of his performances this season?
It's difficult to talk about because he's just one of those players who can just produce one of those magic moments out of nothing, really. Especially when you're struggling in a game, that's so valuable to a team like Argyle, who obviously are sort of a relegation side in some ways, challenging to stay in the league. That's obviously very valuable. And then you got the other side of it where obviously the rest of the game, when he's not scoring those goals, he's not really doing a lot. But it's so tricky because you can't afford to bench him, but you need to in some ways. But yeah, it's tricky. I don't know what the manager must be having, head nightmares about it.
Luton Town next for you fellas. Then on Friday night, we'll all be watching that one because it's our Friday night viewing. But so yes or no, Carl? Will Rooney drop him? Is the first question, and then should he drop him? The second one.
Yes, he will drop him, but I can't say when.
Right. So not on
I'm
Friday
not gonna.
against Luton.
I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he does drop him. But there's no clear indication that he's going to drop him, in my opinion. If he's bought him off a couple of games, then I start saying he might drop him. But I haven't noticed anything to say he's going to drop him.
Okay. All right. Jaden, same for you then. Will he drop him, and should he?
No, I don't think he will, and I don't think he should just yet. Obviously, we've got Sissoko on the other side, and then the options to sort of replace him on the wing aren't really that great compared to him himself. So I don't think it's the right time to drop him just yet.
Okay. What do you think? Put it in the comments below. We've been a big champion of Morgan Whittaker, so we aren't starting the slander here. We're just doing our job and reviewing what fans are commenting. The name title of our show is Terrace Talk, and this is what they're talking about. So yeah, let's try and get behind Morgan Whittaker, shall we? All right. Some other comments then. These are all pretty good. Normally, I'd be very annoyed, says Rob. However, apart from their goal, I thought we played very well. Good pressing, good football, just couldn't get the final third just right today. Plenty of positives. If we can get our wide men and striker on form, see our previous conversation, it will be dangerous. A couple of people shouted out for Al-Hadj should have started the second half. I'll get your view on that in a second. And PC says, very encouraging. The Rooney way will make us comfortable in this league. Don't like losing. I think we deserve to, but decent effort. I thought West Brom were the best team we saw at Argyle last season as well. So lots to unpick there. Good pressing football. How is the Plymouth press? Because I'll be honest, we didn't see it at Hillsborough at all. Is it there now, Carl?
Oh, it's a completely different team from the one that stepped out in Hillsborough. I mean, they want the ball, they chase after the man, they want to go for it, and as we saw against Sunderland, that's what happens. But unfortunately, we've just come up against top quality opposition who are vying up the football table, looking for promotion at the end of the season. So it's just that bit of quality extra. But
Absolutely.
like I said earlier, I have no complaints.
Absolutely. Looking at the league tables, 1 and 2, which you've played in the last 2 games, you've beaten one of them and nearly came away from home with a very valuable point. So I think it's all signs that this Plymouth side aren't going anywhere this season. What about the Al-Hadj thing, Jaden? Did you think he should have come on the second half?
Yeah, he probably should have. But I think he might start the next. Excuse me. I think he might start the next game. If I'm honest, he's been very impressive, obviously since coming in, especially at the last game at home park. So I'm hoping he's going to start on Friday night.
Okay, all right. And just a couple more. Argyle meme says, lots of good stuff today. Just need to take our chances better. I'm sick of seeing players trying to walk the ball into the net. frame it in the context that we were playing a team looking for promotion. It was a good effort. Too slow, too clinical, says Jack. It's not illegal to pass the ball forwards and not sideways. There is a growing element of comments that suggests Plymouth are trying to score the perfect goal at times and should just shoot on sight when you get opportunities. Jayden, is there an element of truth to this? What people are saying other times in games where you just think, just have a go, man, rather than passing it wide again, going back to start again.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit like Swansea last season, isn't it? I think they were a bit like that as well. But yeah, I don't know what to really say on it. It's just one of those things. It's just obviously the football we're trying to play. I think it's quite, the football we're playing at the minute is very good. But yeah, obviously have a shot if you can take a shot. That's my view on it.
Okay. Luton, as we said, they're in town on Friday, and they haven't had a great start at all to the season, and they had a stuttering performance against Sheffield Wednesday. They were very lucky to get the win there, let alone a point. Usually at this point, when it's a relegated side, I'd say, would you take a point? But actually, Carl, I'm gonna swerve that. This is a winnable game, isn't it, for the Greens?
I've got a good feeling about Friday. I mean, the last time I went to a evening game was Leicester, and we know how that ended up. But now, in all seriousness, if we can carry on the form we are in, I really don't see why not. Because Luton, I've watched their highlights, and they haven't been the side of last season at all.
Mm-hmm. And under the lights, Jayden, Home Park can be quite an intimidating place to go, can't it? When it's bouncing.
Yeah, it definitely was against Leicester, that's for sure. Absolutely rocking. And I hope it's like that again on Friday night. It'll be a very good night, especially if we win, which I think we will, I hope. Yeah, it's the type of game where we should win in the form and the circumstances. So, yeah, hopefully we continue the way we're playing.
All right, brilliant. Listen, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. We are looking for 50 subscriptions to our brand new chat show. We've been doing it for a year with Jayden over on Terry's Talk, but this is a Plymouth only channel, which we know it takes time to grow, but help us get there. We've got lots of guests coming on as well throughout the year, and do drop us a like as well. We're looking for 25 likes on this week's video. Right, fellas, we've done goalkeepers, we've done central defenders. Last week we looked at left backs, so this week, to conclude all of that, we're looking at right backs. So have a look at the list and tell us, in terms of strength and depth, how good is this position for Argyle? Transfermarket.com has you with 7 available players at right back. I'm pretty sure I've never seen some of them play in that position. But I think, having said that, I think if you're a footballer, you should be able to play there, shouldn't you? I think right back's that one position. You'd imagine that people, if you're a footballer, you should. Looking at this, fellas, I'm going to ask you to both tell me at the same time, if that's okay, after 3. Who is your best right back? 1, 2, 3.
Joe
Edwards.
Okay. I didn't need to ask, did I, really?
No.
And then after Joe Edwards?
Mumba,
yeah.
Okay. And what about the rest of them on this list here? I mean, we know that I'm going to play centre back usually, but this is a position that Plymouth need to worry about, is it?
Well, I'm surprised Callum Wright's in there because he's a midfielder.
Well, got him down.
No, I don't think we have to worry in that position at all. We've got plenty of options.
Jayden?
I'm going to disagree. I think most of them are left backs. Obviously, Mumba can play right back, but at the minute he's our starting left back. So I think in the January transfer window, it's a position that we definitely need to look at. Obviously, Callum Wright is a midfielder, like you say. A lot of them are centre backs, a lot of them are left backs. So it's a position I'd definitely look at in January to bring in a bit more,
Your
you know,
point.
actual
Yeah.
right back, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
No, that's your
All right.
point.
Okay, let us know what you think in the comments below. We've now completed the full set of defence, so you know what question is coming next. Out of 10, ignoring the results you've had so far and where you are in the league, on paper, look at the strength and depth that you have, goalkeepers, the back line. Out of 10, Carl, how good is it?
7.
Jaden?
7.5.
All right. Okay. What do you want in January then? It's out of that whole 5 positions that the 4 positions we've looked at. Priority for you would be: are we okay with goalkeepers at the moment?
I'd bring one more in, and I'd bring a right back
Ooh.
in.
Yeah, Carl.
I'd definitely look at the left back because I remember right, it's Galloway and who else is it left
Lola.
back? Nola. Yeah, I'd definitely look at left back. That's for certain.
All right. Okay. Can you advance anything on 7.5? Drop it in the comments below. Thank you very much for that. Next week we start in the midfield. You'll be glad to know. Lots more debate to be had. Cheers for that. It is Sacktober. As we're coming into the next month, where managers are more likely to lose their job than any other month in the calendar year. I think Rooney's pretty safe. But who do you think is going to be next out the door in the Championship, both of you?
In the championship.
We've already
Cardiff's
lost 3.
gone.
Stoke, Cardiff and Preston have gone.
Before I answer this, can I just say who would have thought Wayne Rooney still be in charge and Schumacher and Lowe out of work? I just had to mention that. Sorry.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, Cardiff have just got rid of their manager, haven't they?
They have, yeah. Rooney must be one of the most secure managers, I'd imagine.
At the moment, yes. The only other one I'm thinking about. That's a good question because it depends on the league table. Because I haven't actually can't remember it off by heart. I know we're 20th. Portsmouth's guy's safe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh,
At the minute, really. You could go.
Swansea are known for changing manners here, there, and everywhere. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's him
Okay.
because they're a bit rocky. But then again, Coventry haven't had a good start. But then again, he's been there so long, I can't see them getting rid of him like that.
No.
And Luton haven't had a good start.
Luton, yeah. Possibly. Drop your comments below who's next for the sack. And then finally, Carl, then just to find out a little bit more about you, if we may, as we are doing a new feature called Getting to Know You. I'll put some nice cheesy background music on for this one. Tell us a little bit about, Carl, if you don't mind, about what was the first ever game you attended as a Plymouth fan?
It was when I was really young, like I can't remember the age I was. I was really young though, and I think it was Argyle versus QPR at home. I can't remember what year, but I was really young.
And why
But
are
then
you a Plymouth fan? Is it family or?
it's just, one of my best mates he's a best man. Well, both of them are my best men going to be at my future wedding. They got me into it, and it sort of like helped me in my mental health and that. So I fell in love with it ever since. So it's really helped me.
And if Plymouth Argyle ceased to exist tomorrow, who would you go and support?
I don't think I could support anyone. Seriously, I don't think I could. I just don't think I could.
What's the best match you've ever been to?
There's only one. When it was Plymouth Argyle 4, Exeter City 2.
All right, fair enough then. And what's your favourite player growing up that you enjoyed watching the most?
My favourite player? You really got me there. Oh, so many that have come through and gone. I'm going to say Michael Cooper. The way he's raised and the way he's gone from literally being a youth academy all the way up to a team now who are aiming for the Premier League. I admire that more than anything.
All right. Thanks for sharing that with us, Carl. Just a little bit of getting to know your time. Jaden, you won't escape that. We'll chat to you next week and find out a little bit more about your history with the Greens. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already done so and you're still watching, thank you so much. We really love you dropping in the channel, and this will be on Spotify and all streaming services from Wednesday morning onwards. Good luck against Luton. We'll be watching. And as an Everton fan, I really hope Rooney does well. I'm delighted to see that he's out of the headlines for once. So, yeah, well done, Plymouth. Keep doing well, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers, Jaden. Cheers, Carl.